Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, serious, very important question, a hot take question, and I want all of you to answer and be honest. Do you think Michael B. Jordan is a good actor? Leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because today we're going to be talking about Creed 3, and I have some thoughts.
You out there boxing. I need you to start fighting.
Since we're talking about Creed, and we all know Creed comes from the Rocky universe, look at these awesome Rocky t-shirts that you could possibly get yourself. You have everything from Mr. T, you have the OG, Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed. You know, you have these nice, oh, look at that. You do have Creed shirts here as well. Creed versus Dame, newly added. Look at that, just in time for this movie that we're going to be talking about. Of course, you have Rocky, and ooh, look at this, the Italian stallion Rocky in a GTA form. Look, if any of these shirts look great for you, then definitely check out 80stees.com. Special link in the description below. Get yourself something cool, and you're going to be helping support the channel as well. So whether you're a fan of the 80s, 90s, or all the other E's, you could find something else that will be really cool for you. Or if you're just a fan of Rocky and you want some of these Rocky shirts, why don't you grab something for yourself or for a loved one right now? Again, link in the description below. Find yourself your next nostalgic fit. All right, I'm just going to come out and say it. I didn't like it. I was not a fan of Creed 3. It is, in my opinion, the worst of the 3 Creed movies. And it was one of the movies that I felt like there was really something missing there. And that something is heart. There was not enough heart in Creed, in my opinion. If you looked at the pattern in the last 2 Creed movies, there was a lot of instances where someone has to believe in themselves, or someone has to pick themselves up, or there's a nice chemistry and bond between 2 people who makes the other person realize their importance, or what they could be doing better, or how they could improve their situation in life and all that stuff like that. And you do get that here, but I felt like it wasn't really truly executed in the way that it did in the last 2 movies. Now, the Creed 2 wasn't exactly a great movie. I felt like most of the movie was good until you got to the end, and I felt like they kind of copped out at the end there. But I felt like in this movie, most of it felt like a cop-out, in my opinion. And I think because of that missing element, and I have to say it, and this is not really a spoiler here, because if you've seen the trailers, if you looked up who is in this movie, one person's missing from this movie, and that's Sylvester Stallone. There's no Rocky in this movie, and it felt like they just decided to kind of wipe out the Rocky legacy and just focus on Creed, which is perfectly fine if that's the route they want to go. But I felt like they could have done it a whole lot better, filling in the gaps of the missing heart. I do feel like Phylicia Rashad and the actress who played Creed's daughter, Mila Davis-Kent, did an excellent job in this movie, and they definitely lended more of that missing element, the more heartfelt moments throughout the movie that I thought most of the time they were on screen was very endearing. Tessa Thompson was great in this movie, and she did what she's always done. She was a great supporting piece to Creed, to that family. And I felt like she did a really great job in filling in that role like she's always done. But that's the problem. I felt like Michael B. Jordan could not carry this film alone on his own. And if it wasn't for all the supporting characters around him, then this movie would have been much worse, in my opinion. And that leads me to Jonathan Majors. My God, Jonathan Majors is a beast. And I said that before in a review of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania when that came out. Here, he was really ruthless and played like this perfect person with a chip on his shoulder. You could tell that they borrowed a lot of elements from like Mike Tyson, even down to the point where he's like wearing the black trunks and everything, fighting with a chip on his shoulder. Even some of his fighting moves reminded me of early Mike Tyson, which was really very interesting. But you could tell that was more than likely a great influence there. But with all that being said, the weakest link here in the movie, I thought, in my opinion, was Michael B. Jordan, unfortunately. I know this is him directing the movie, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe, not all people who are actor-directors can do both at the same time. It's a difficult job. And if you've listened to interviews with other people who've done the same thing, they'll tell you also that that is a very difficult job. But I think for right now, this being Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, maybe it wasn't the best choice to have him direct himself in this movie. And I think that's maybe, in my opinion, where I felt some of the things were lacking. I also felt like the movie suffered from pacing issues. You know, a lot of things happened too quickly, kind of made things feel like it happened too fast, or there was no sense of timing between situations. One person's like this one time, and then very soon after they find themselves in this situation the next time. I just felt it was kind of messy in a way. Now, of course, there were moments where I enjoyed the fighting, and some, you know, they did have some Rocky-like elements like the training montages and all that stuff like that, but it just didn't feel like Rocky. And maybe that was the point, you know, maybe it is time to kind of separate themselves from the Rocky legacy to make it their own thing. However, with the way the movie ended, I'm not really sure where you go from here, to be honest with you. Now, that could have been easily said about the last movie, but if you're familiar with the Rocky movies, you know there's always another way to introduce a storyline. But I felt like things were just missing too much throughout this movie, and I felt like the pacing was just really off. So it did kind of hurt the overall experience for the movie for me. I will give kudos to Michael B. Jordan Doe for some choices that he made in some of the camera angles, the camera work, and some of the fighting montages. For those of you who may know or may not know, Michael B. Jordan is a huge anime fan, and I felt like he used a lot of those influences in these fighting scenes, especially the last ending fight with Jonathan Majors. Again, not spoiler. I mean, if you are familiar with these movies, you know that there's a build up to a big fight at the end. That's just how these things work, right? Whether it's in the ring, on the street, in a club, I don't know, whatever the case is, but there's always going to be one major fight. And in this final fight scene, you could totally see all the anime influence that Michael B. Jordan has and he used in the making of this film and this particular scene that I'm talking about. So if you see the movie and you know quite a bit about anime, you'll immediately pick it up and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, but with all that being said, I was not a fan of this movie, and I am a pretty big Creed fan. I'm a huge Rocky fan. Grew up watching those movies. Yeah, some of them are corny, campy, cheesy, whatever the case is. Maybe it's just a product of the 80s that I grew up in and everything. But I thought they did a really great job with the first Creed. Creed 2 had great moments, maybe a lackluster ending there and all that. But this one, yeah, it kind of took me out of it. Sorry to say. And because of that, I had to give it 2 stars on Letterboxd, and that was my final rating for this movie. I kind of made a joke, an MCU joke about it and all that kind of stuff like that. If you're interested, you could read it. Just check me out on Letterboxd. Link in the description below. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all what I think. What matters most is what all of you think. If you haven't seen Creed 3 yet, are you planning to? Or if you have seen Creed 3, what are your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Do you think it was okay? Or did you felt like me and felt like some things were missing? Definitely let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Well, that's my time for right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It doesn't cost you a thing and only takes you a couple seconds. And it really helps support and grow the channel. If you feel like it, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. And if you want to go the extra mile, follow the LOWKEY GEEK podcast channel on your podcast platform of choice, where you could find the audio version of this review and so many others for your listening pleasure. Also, if you're in a position to further help support the channel, check out our affiliates in the description below. By finding something cool for yourself, you're going to be also helping support this channel as well. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay cool, stay classy, stay safe, and stay sane. See you all in the next one. All right, peace out, y'all.